Okay. So find yourself a comfortable seated position where the body can comfortably remain in calmness and stillness for the following 5 or 10 minutes. So first, take a moment to consider your posture and notice if perhaps it would feel good to support your back or uncross the legs if the feet are not touching the ground, but the feet find nice contact with the surface of the floor. Check in with the posture, especially that your back seems to be vertical. If you're reclining back into your backrest, see if you can find a different support for your spine where you have that sense of verticality and the back of the top of the head reaching upwards towards the ceiling. Good. So let's close the eyes for a moment if you haven't yet. And we'll begin by chanting Om 3 times together. So please inhale for Om. And at this point, you can just check in with your intention for your practice of meditation. If it's just in this moment in particular for the next 5 or 10 minutes, or if it's an intention for your practice, more of a kind of a macro practice view of the big picture. It's like working with the mind and placing a bookmark to your intention, so the mind has something to return back to and reconfirm your intention. Good. Let's now bring the awareness back to the body. We'll start with the perception of grounding in the body. It's usually perceived as a pressure on the body. And find the sensation in the bottom of the feet. That sensory event happening in your feet. A little bit of pressure, different levels of pressure in different parts of the sole of the foot, left foot and the right foot. Now bring the awareness to the base of the pelvis, back of the legs, as you feel the contact with a chair or a cushion. You can focus on the perception of that pressure. You might feel the pressure against the skin, against the soft tissue, and even distinguishing the pressure against the bone of the base of the pelvis, the 2 sitting bones, left and right. And then bring the awareness under your arms and hands and feel the contact with the surface underneath. And with this, let the arms release down, shoulders release down with that sense of gravity. Now with your awareness, embrace the body, the whole body, and sense the grounding, and at the same time sense the posture. Feel that the posture is upright and alert, grounded. And let the body relax into that. Finding that calmness in the body. Good. And next step, we'll focus on the breath. So find the sensation of the breath moving the body, a very physical perception of the movement, perhaps in your mid-torso. You might notice that the perception of the whole body is in the background. It's still there. But now giving our attention more specifically to the breath. Notice where you can feel the movement in your torso as the body breathes itself. In the rib cage above the diaphragm. And in the abdomen below the diaphragm. And let the breath relax. So now bring the awareness back to that movement, and we'll start inviting extra air in. So as you inhale, taking some extra inhalation, extra volume of air. And let that air come out slowly with control. Perhaps even drawing the belly in at the end for complete exhalation. And then on your own, about 3 more full deep breaths or comfortably deep breaths. And then bring the palms together in front of the chest. We'll simply close by saying Om Shanti, 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 meaning peace. And that as we say these words, we can think of the peace is meant for us, but also for the world. Please inhale. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace to all. And when you're ready to rejoin the Zoom room, you can open the eyes. I will hand the screen over to Swami Ramananda.
Thank you, Diana. We wanted to just briefly provide an opportunity for everyone to introduce themselves, and maybe one sentence about what your interest is in coming to this little session. We don't have a long time, so just briefly, if you could offer your name, if you like, where you're from, and anything you're particularly interested in, so that we can make sure that we cover those things. And we can just kind of go around in the squares here. Maybe I could call on the names so that we don't wait too long. Maria, would you mind to share something first?
Hello, everyone. Good evening. Maria Malati. I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I found out about this session through the studying up on 300-hour training and learning about the meditation teacher training, which I'm interested in. And so I'm here to primarily learn about that and how it goes, the logistics and how it fits in with an advanced training.
Very good. Okay. Risa?
Hi, I have the exact same explanation as Maria, so it would be a little short, but I'm just outside of Philadelphia. And Swami, I used to volunteer at IYI in New York City back in the 90s and knew you way back when. But,
Yes.
so it's nice to see you again. But I'm also interested in the meditation teacher training.
Very good. Thank you. Lola, I'm going to share something. Oh, you're muted, Lola.
There we go. I'm from Watsonville, California, not that far from San Francisco, and I've taken trainings there before with the YCAT training, and I'm a yoga teacher, and I have not been teaching since COVID, and been invited to come back, and I basically have taught gentle yoga or yoga for seniors, and I'm wanting to expand what I'm doing. I'm also a therapist working a lot with mindful-based strategy. So I'm hoping to be able to incorporate some of this into the work I do there, but also to take this training so that I can bring this into the yoga center here locally where I live. And so, yes, I'm very excited.
Good. Okay, thank you, Lola.
Mm-hmm.
Haruko, I'm going to share something.
Hi everyone, and I'm Haruko, and I'm from Virginia Beach, Virginia, and I am here because when I took the stress management teacher training, the meditation part of the practice really helped me to learn more about the benefit of meditation, and I was I was very interested in more visualization part of the meditation. So because I really like, I like to imagine things, and that was some different meditation that I knew that I practiced back in Japan. So yeah, I'm here to know more about the benefit of the meditation. Also, how to kind of prepare to do the visualization.
Hmm,
Thank you.
very good. Thank you, Haruko. Kalyani? You're also muted, Kalyani.
How's that? Better? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Hello, I'm from Bel Air, Maryland. And like Lola, I teach seniors at several senior centers here in Harford County. I teach gentle yoga and I teach chair yoga. And not only am I interested in deepening my own meditation practice, but I feel that many of the seniors that I'm encountering are really interested in these more subtle practices of yoga. So I'd like to feel a little bit more confident, bringing a little bit more of the teachings and meditation into the yoga classes.
Hmm. Okay, very good, very good. Thank you, Kalyani. Jim, you want to share something?
Yeah. I'm just really interested to hear people talk about meditation and their meditation experiences. There's so many different ways to approach the subject. And at a certain point, I think you have to get beyond technique and go more deeply into your own heart and mind. Whatever is there is there. I'm just trying to listen to people and get some different viewpoints and trying to figure it out. Thank you.
Thank you. Good. Nicole, you want to share with us?
Hi, I'm Nicole, and I'm from New Jersey. I'm here to take the meditation teacher training to add more meditation to my toolkit. I'm a sound healing practitioner, and I offer, like we learned with stress management training, I offer it where I work at my company, and I'm also going to bring it to the Cancer Institute. So just more to add to my toolkit for where I'm offering meditation and yin yoga and nidra. So it's just part of the toolkit just to learn more and absorb more. And this is the best place I think I'm going to be able to get that part of my 300 level. Thank you.
Very good. Kirsten?
Hi, I live in San Francisco and I have been meditating since I was 18, so a long time ago. I would say the last 15 years or so have been in a Zen tradition, and I currently teach yoga and meditation in the prison system in New Mexico and also in juvenile hall here in San Francisco. And so I'm really interested just to expand and refine my abilities as a teacher. Thank you.
Great, great. Okay, thank you. Lydia, want to share something?
Hi, everyone. I'm from Northern Virginia, and I found out about this training through the 300-hour program. I am a yoga teacher as well, and most of my work has propelled me into teaching meditation classes. And so it's something that's kind of been a part of my life, kind of through the back door in my heart for a long time. And I'm really excited to connect with some other people and just find out what other techniques are out there and how to apply them to just deepen my knowledge base at the ready, because so many different things resonate with different people. And I feel that it's really helpful to have a lot of those connections in your pocket so that you can help to meet people where they're at. So thank you.
Very good. Good. Okay. Alana, are you there with us? You want to share something?
Yeah, sure. So, hi, I'm Alana. I'm from Hong Kong in Canada. And I'm coming here today because I'm really passionate about exploring yoga for mental health. And I feel like meditation just fits really perfectly into that. So hoping to learn how to deepen my own practice, but also learn more to share more with the community.
Good, good. Thank you, Alana. Annie, did you want to share?
Oh, well, thank you. I'm here by that inspiration I seek and need to keep my own practice going. And yeah, thank you.
Okay, okay, short and
Yeah.
sweet.
Yeah.
Deanna, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure, I can talk a little bit. So my name is Deanna. I'm going to be one of the trainers for the training, meditation training, and I started kind of early on too. I was in college when I started with meditation, and kept it on for the past 30 years or so. You know, there were some periods of time when I did not do it every day, you know, like having family and stuff. And so now for I would say the last maybe like 8 years, I've been very regular, and I'm just like always, meditation has been my thing. It's always been my thing. And I am a yoga teacher too. I work also with a lot with seniors during the pandemic. That's pretty much where I diverted to, working mainly with seniors. And I also am finding out how a lot of them are ready to go into more subtle practices, or just that sort of expansion of the awareness and finding some peace with their own hearts and in their own minds as they go through all kinds of different changes. So I'm excited to share with you when it comes to teaching and sharing these practices. It's a little bit tricky. I'm also very excited about being with everybody, and we can kind of freely talk about our experiences, but you'll find out to share with others and guide them to have a meditation practice. It's a whole different ballgame than just telling them to do what you do or asking them if they have experience that you have. There's so much that can happen, and so I'm hoping to kind of convey a little bit of a broader picture of how meditation can be and how it can be shared. So that's me.
Great. Thank you, Deanna. I've also been practicing meditation for many years, and actually began practicing Zen Buddhist meditation back in the mid-70s. But I've been practicing yoga and teaching yoga for many years now. I'm the director of the Institute here in San Francisco. And as you can tell from hearing from a number of the people here, we sort of have a dual purpose here, and that is to kind of spend a little time looking at the essence of meditation practice and how to go about it, but also providing information about the upcoming meditation teacher training that begins December 1st, I believe it is. So only 3 weeks away or so. So we'll make sure that we leave time to answer any questions about that and to give kind of an overview of that training. But I'll start just speaking a little bit about meditation, the basic theory of meditation. It sounds like most of you are already familiar with it. So I don't want to speak in such a basic way that are things that you're already familiar with. But I'll just share a few thoughts about why we meditate and the the sort of range, the whole spectrum of benefits and purposes for meditation practice. It probably is the most widely practiced health-oriented practice as well as spiritual practice. There's some form of meditation found in almost all the faith traditions. But even beyond its connection to spirituality, meditation's being used for so many practical purposes: to develop concentration, to relieve stress, high blood pressure, to have a restorative impact on the mind, to improve mental strength, the ability to focus, to respond consciously to stressful situations versus react to them. And in this way, make skillful choices rather than impulsive choices. Meditation is used to cultivate creativity, to think outside the box, if you will. But in the yoga tradition, and in the Buddhist tradition as well, and some of the other faith traditions, meditation is a practice that goes far beyond its health benefits. It's a means of disengaging from all the movement in the thoughts, all the movement in the mind, all the thoughts in the mind that we typically dwell in with such familiarity, with such habitual immersion in them that we identify with them, right? And meditation is a practice by which we disentangle ourselves and our awareness from all of that movement, all of those thoughts, using some particular method or technique that allows us to quiet all of that movement and to experience something much more profound behind, in the backdrop of thought. Like beneath the surface waves of the ocean is a vast presence of peace, a natural sense of contentment, a natural sense of connection or oneness with the whole web of life. And out of that sense of connection and oneness, a natural tendency towards compassion and respect and fellowship with other beings. To experience this sort of unchanging spiritual presence within us can completely change the way we move about in the world, the way we relate to the events in our lives, to the other people and possessions in our lives. It opens the door to seeing unity behind the diversity, and moving about in the world without depending on the events in the world for our sense of, for peace in our hearts, for our sense of contentment. So it has tremendous implications for the way that we go about our daily lives. I can share a little bit about the sort of essence of meditation practice, how we go about it. In this training, of course, we'll go into this kind of thing in much more detail. But typically in the yoga tradition, we start with some form of invocation, some way of attuning ourselves to this deeper sense of self, just like what Dhyana did when she began by having us chant Om 3 times using mantras, and also suggesting to us that we affirm to ourselves our own personal intention for our practice. So we begin, even before we pay attention to our posture or some technique, we begin with this affirmation of the purpose with which we spend this time. and this effort to begin to connect to this deeper sense of self. And then, of course, a very basic element of meditation practice is our posture. And Diana gave us some good guidance with that. We want to be able to sit in a way that does not disturb or distract us from going inward and working with the mind. So that means looking carefully at various seated positions that enables us to sit still in a way that's as relaxed as possible. So the body itself assumes the dual qualities of both steadiness and comfort. The body is alert, has a certain alertness and energy to it, but at the same time relaxed. And that enables us to go beyond the physical level and work with the more subtle levels of our being, the pranic level, which we approach through the breath, and the mental level. So in the yoga tradition, we also use pranayama practices as a means to prepare ourselves for this inward journey, as a way of further calming and focusing the mind, but also working with a subtle energy body. Some of you are familiar with, as yoga teachers, the nadis, and balancing the flow of this prana or subtle energy, increasing its flow so that we acquire the refined, fiery energy to accomplish this purpose of working in the mental level to disentangle ourselves from the stream of thought that we so habitually dwell in. So we use certain pranayama practices, and that becomes a part of the training as well, to train the students how to use those practices. And there are other means of preparation, but pranayama or breathing practices would be a primary one. Chanting mantras also could be a means of preparation. And then we proceed with some technique. Diana will describe some techniques, and then we'll actually do a little practice together. But whatever technique we choose, we all learn to have the right combination of focus on our technique and non-attachment to the effort. Having a proper expectation of what to experience makes a world of difference. So we want to convey that. We want to hold that for ourselves, but we also want to convey that to our students when we're teaching meditation, so that there's not this sense of frustration, but a relaxed, focused attention that gradually deepens over time. Diana, do you want to talk about techniques a little bit? And then I'll actually lead us. And anything more you want to say about the basic theory and approach?
Thank you. So you spoke about the preparation, which is really important, and the practice of the meditation itself. And then there's also an ending to it. You know, it's almost like once you're done with the meditation, you sort of merge back into your kind of the biomechanical piece of you, that's the body, and you also acknowledge the presence of others. And our founder, Swami Satchidananda, he always encouraged us that at the end of our practice, we direct some of the positive thinking and prayers towards the goodness of the whole So like we did, just simple Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti together, something like that to activate the heart and share that with others. So it's a nice way to end if you have not had that as part of your practice, or the preparation or pranayama, if you haven't tried that, or ending with some sort of a heart-centered, if it's chanting or metta meditation for a few minutes or something like that, prayer. It's a wonderful way to end it and keep your heart open and alive. So I'm going to go over some of the techniques. So with yoga tradition, what we teach mostly when people are starting out is to find one object of meditations. We give the mind one thing to focus on. And the instruction can be very simple for your whole life practice. It can be sit comfortably, close the eyes, and repeat Om Shanti. That's it. That can be the entire scope of what you need to know. So that can be quite, actually, it's simple, but it's not easy. And so having a technique, having this one object to focus on, it's important, but also a part of it is how you develop that attentiveness, how you can stay with your object of meditation. So that's something that we'll address in the training. And so this object of meditation, the most widely used is the breath. So that's kind of where we were veering to when I was leading you. We were veering to just the breath awareness, breath being your main focus. And you can just start with that. You don't have to do that whole beginning with focusing on the body. I did it for a certain reason, and we can come into that later in the training. Why did it take me for so long to get to actually watching the breath? But watching the breath is definitely the most common technique. The cycle of the breath, inhale, the transition, the exhale, the landing of the exhale and the stillness, and then the new breath comes. It's kind of like this. Some teachers talk about a water wheel or a Ferris wheel. It's this kind of cycle of the breath. You can have since you like visual, Haruka likes the visuals, so you can include some of that with the breath. But in the beginning, just it can be distracting to give visuals to people sometimes. So you start simply by feeling the breath and focusing on the breath and staying with the breath. Another technique that's widely used by yogis is mantra repetition. So for example, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, and you silently repeat it, and that's it. And when other thoughts come, you come back to Om Shanti. When you get distracted, you come back to Om Shanti. Stay with Om Shanti until your mind kind of perpetuates that. And even when you're off the cushion, your mind perpetuates that, and it kind of starts imprinting on the mind and carries on into your daily life. So your mantra, in a way, is like a companion that stays with you even when you're not meditating. And it's widely used practice among yogis, having a mantra. So I'm just going quickly through it. I hope that's okay. The next one is tratak. So it's focusing. It's called gazing. Most commonly, gazing at the flame, like gazing at the light, or gazing at some sacred symbol. It can be symbol Om, or it can be like Shri Yantra or any kind of yantra. You see, if you have the gallery view, you see that there is one square that's got the integral yoga yantra in it. It's the black with the yellow. So that's a example of a yantra. And by keeping the eyes steadily look in one direction and focused, it focuses the mind. So it's kind of a simple technique again, and not always that easy. And then when you close the eyes, that symbol stays present with you, and you become attuned either to the light. That was actually the technique I started with in college. I became very attuned to light. Like at night, so looking at streetlights, I would see all those rings around the streetlights and rings around the moon. And then I started to get like subtle perception of light. I became so attuned to light. It was actually quite beautiful. Light is not a bad thing to focus on. So that's gazing. So you're probably starting to sense that what you choose as your object of meditation is gonna carry through past just the practice into your life. So then we have techniques that are a little bit different, and we'll introduce those in the training too. One is the witnessing. So the witnessing is something that we did. That was our meditation that I did with you. You know, bringing the awareness to the proprioception of the body, that perception of the sensory events happening in the body. And from there, not getting involved with it, you know, just observing it. And then moving on to the breath and then just observing the breath. And that's where we ended today. But then it can go further. You start observing the mind without getting involved with it. So that's a tricky one. How does that work, to see your thoughts without getting engaged with them? So that's where it gets a little bit complicated. I didn't take us there today. And then from there, you can go even beyond and kind of like gaze into big, open, luminous awareness. It gets very big and broad and boundless and hard to put to words, this technique. So it's something that's called sometimes the open awareness practice. It comes with perception of self. So that's kind of what's cultivated here. And that perception of self becomes, you cultivate this connection and it becomes your companion throughout the day. Like you can pause, come back to it, sense the big picture of the self-perception when you're in a challenging situation. It can take half a minute to 2 minutes. You know, you can reestablish that connection when you're cultivating it. So it's a wonderful practice. It's a little bit more difficult because you do not have that one concrete thing to hold on to, like an anchor, like a rope that you hold on to. And the last technique is self-inquiry. So that's a technique of jnana yogis. That's why we included here again. Not everybody is a jnana yogi, but among yogis, many are, and it just makes the most sense. And it's a technique where we kind of, in a way, okay, the main question is, who am I? Again, that might be the instruction you get from some yoga master. Ask yourself, find out who am I? And that's it. and then you go deeper and deeper with it. You find out all these false identifications. It's a little bit more chatty. It's a little bit more intellectual. Whenever you find yourself involved with some emotions or thinking or perception of the body, you kind of drop back and like, is that who I am? Who am I? And then going deeper and deeper and deeper into it. So it's got a lot of depth, this one. But again, I would not say it is a beginner's kind of technique, but yet it is widely practiced because it is a classic technique of Jnana yogis. So that's the introduction of the techniques.
What I'm thinking we should do, Diana, is give a little overview of the training, since so many people here are interested in that.
Okay.
I could share a few thoughts about it, and then invite you to do the same.
Okay.
Diana beautifully described a number of different techniques, and that's definitely a part of the training, to understand the different techniques and learn how to teach them. Because in the yoga tradition, we really believe in allowing people to find a technique or a method that really speaks to them, that feels comfortable to them. And so we offer a number of different options, and in the training, we go into depth in each one of them. Of course, we'll dwell on the theory of meditation, how to understand it for ourselves, but also how to express it. We'll look at various teaching skills, like how to create a workshop, how to design a course, some thoughts about organizing the way that we teach, using group discussion as a teaching method. We'll go into detail in the practice of pranayama, both for our personal practice and also making sure that we're ready to or skilled at offering pranayama, making it accessible to all levels of practitioners. So there'll be a focus on both learning to teach and personal practice. We'll also look at the lifestyle guidelines that or principles that support a meditation practice and the way that meditation can be carried into the daily life. So those are some of the things I think about. We'll look in the theory, we'll look at the foundation of yoga and meditation as we see it expressed in the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. And some of you mentioned stress management teacher training. We'll look at ways to make meditation accessible to an audience that's not so interested in a spiritual practice, but a practice that relieves stress and is used for centering and restoring the mind. So that's the kind of overview I was thinking of, Diana. Would you add to that? Diana is actually the mastermind behind our training, the schedule, and the way that we move through the different aspects of it.
So one thing that also, and a lot of you here are yoga teachers, is going to be how to kind of weave meditation into teaching a yoga class. So that's another aspect that we'll address. So there's and I am excited to announce we have some really great guests. So we have some really great guest speakers. We have Swami Divyananda going to share with us in December, and then later on we have Rich Panico come, who established and pioneered the mindfulness-based psychotherapy. He's an MD, psychiatrist by profession, and He established mindfulness-based therapy and pioneered it a long time ago. He's retired now. Also, we have Swami Ashokananda from New York, for those of you who know New York, and we'll have Ramani Eaton from England joining us, and she is very much a Jnana yogi. She's probably the most Jnana person I've ever met. So I'm really happy that she's gonna share the Jnana approach with you. So that's
Reverend
about the
Jagannath.
content. And Reverend Jagannath, yeah, he's gonna teach a public workshop that you'll have free access to. Yeah, wonderful. So it's gonna be rich. There's gonna be some homework. There's gonna be some presentations you'll prepare to, and also you'll be learning these 5 techniques and how to guide them. So you'll in a peer groups will guide each other and teach these guided meditations. So then when you are faced with being asked to do that in a work setting, you will not go unprepared.
And just the opportunity to practice together regularly and to be learning together in a way that supports a focused approach to one's personal practice. I find it invaluable every time that I'm working with a training like this because of the attention that we give to the practice and the support that we have meeting a few times a week. I just find myself and many people in these trainings find their own personal practice accelerating and really taking on a more refined, nuanced condition. And maybe we should see if there are any questions. I was thinking to do another practice, but yeah, go ahead, Jan.
Can I mention in the, most of you probably already noticed, in the chat, I put the discount code for the tuition. So it's $100 off for your tuition. It's MED, all lowercase, 100. So if you send us that application and get that acceptance letter from me, write it down somewhere so you have, it's kind of simple, MED 100. It is going to be valid for the next 48 hours. I kind of encourage you to make that decision.
Mm.
And I hope, Kristen, I know that you had to get off camera and go only on your phone. I hope that you can hear this and receive this. I'm not sure if you're just listening, you're not seeing it. I can email it to you also if you wish.
Let's see if there are any questions. Yeah, go ahead, Lola.
How will the training be organized as far as time? I saw that there's a couple 2.5 or 2 hour trainings during a weekday, and I wasn't quite clear on the all day trainings, how that's going to work.
Should I take that one, Ramananda?
Yeah, sure.
So on the weeknights, the first 2 hours are usually dedicated to theory of some sort.
Okay.
And then the last half an hour is dedicated to you guys practicing your techniques, guiding the techniques. Also on Sunday, every Sunday will end with you splitting into a few groups and practicing teach. So every day will end with half an hour of that.
Mm-hmm.
And then on Saturdays, we start with just a group meditation set, integral yoga style meditation. And then we often will have presentations. And then, sorry if you hear that background noise, my husband just got home from work. And then we just kind of weave in some more theory and have few classes also in the Saturday morning, about 3 maybe, where we have a short, brief sample of hatha classes with meditation in it.
So we'll get the dates of when, exactly what dates.
Yeah, the schedule is ready and it's on the learning platform. So for those of you that have already applied, you might have seen it already because it's been published there. So as soon as you get access to the online platform, you'll see it.
Okay.
And if someone hasn't applied yet, they can see the schedule on our website. It's mapped out.
Yeah, the hours and the times and the dates, but not the detail minute to minute, the lesson plans and all of that.
Thank you.
Sure, sure. Any other question? Yeah, go ahead, Kalyani.
So if something comes up and there's a period of time where one can't be at the like the weekend of something, I'm just thinking of one day during that period of time where I may not be able to be there. Will there be some recordings or something that we can catch up on, or is it we have to be present for the entire time?
Yes, we will record all the sessions.
Okay.
So it will be possible to make up some hours by listening to the recordings,
Okay.
taking some notes.
Okay.
There is a certain maximum amount of hours that one can miss in order to be certified.
Okay.
And those of you interested in the 300-hour training, you'll want to make sure that you receive the certification.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that should be no problem if you end up missing some time.
Okay. Thank you. That answers it.
Sure. That's a very good question. Any other question? Yeah, go ahead, Haruko.
I have some question about the preparing for meditation. It's not about the teacher training, but so you talked about the having a proper expectation, and so what is exactly proper expectation? Because when I sometimes take a meditation, like a guided meditation, many teachers like let go of expectation, and then here, it's nice to maybe have a nice proper expectation, and also the intention should be related to the expectation, and how to prepare, like, is that better to like write it down, or how to like, when I meditate, I just go there, sit, be peace, and that's my kind of intention, and everybody, happy, and I be happy, and that's kind of my intention. But so how to set up, and even in my yoga class, I just tell everyone, maybe take a moment to set the intention. I don't really say what it is. Sometimes I explain what the intention is, but are you going to kind of talk about the expectation and how to set up the intention in the program?
Yes, of course. And I can share a few thoughts about it right now, that we do recommend that someone formulate for themselves in their own words how they want to use the time when they meditate, so that they affirm to their own minds that it's not a time to daydream or to plan the next day It's not a time to review your to-do list. That's where my mind wants to go, to my to-do list. It's not a time to solve problems, right? So you sort of affirm to, we affirm to our minds, we make a kind of commitment to ourselves. No, I can do that all the rest of the time. I'm going to use this time for this specific purpose, which will in fact enable me to do all of those things in much more efficient, with a much clearer mind. Right? So it's helpful to develop an intention for each of us in our own words and to reaffirm it to ourselves. And then the expectation is simply to understand that it's natural for the thinking process to go on. There's a lot of momentum behind our thoughts. We can't easily separate ourselves from those thoughts or stop them. And in fact, we don't try to stop the thoughts at all. We simply redirect our attention. So we're not in any way in conflict with thinking. We're simply redirecting our attention in our chosen direction. And each time that we catch ourselves wandering off and coming back to our focal point or our method, we have succeeded. So that's a good expectation, to know that you've succeeded every time you caught yourself. What can happen if someone has an inappropriate expectation is they think, oh, I can't do it. My mind just, there's so much thinking, there's so much movement in my mind, I can't stop it. And that would be a misunderstanding. We're not expecting it to stop. But if we improve over time, it gradually will slow down. It takes time. It's something that that grows much the way a plant or a tree grows, step by step, not all at once. You want to add anything to that, Diana?
Oh, I think that was very clear.
Yeah.
Mhm. And it's 6:03, so we have to finish up now.
That's true. You know, Diana, I need to go back into a Raja Yoga TT now.
Okay.
So I'm going to let you finish. And I'm going to leave.
Okay, bye.
I'm happy to meet you all, and I hope to see all of you, or as many of you as possible, in the training. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye now.
So I just wanted to ask if there is any sort of like a technical or administrative help with applying or anything like that that you would like to ask, just to make sure that I can be for support here if you need that. Go ahead, Lola.
Yeah, I haven't gotten further online to check, and I will tomorrow. Is there can I call up if I need further clarification once I get on board with that, or how do you recommend following up if there's additional questions?
Okay, so I'm gonna change my name on the screen to my email that I use for integral yoga.
Okay.
Diana at integralyoga.sf.org. There it is. So that's my email. So you can always email me. It's pretty straightforward. You go to our website, you choose on the tab, teacher training tab, meditation TT. It will take you to the landing page for the learning platform, and there is applications to fill. It's an online application. You fill it online. It asks you some questions. There's a $25 fee for the application, which is then discounted from the tuition. And once the person who receives these application will forward it to me, and I'll I'll look it over and I'll accept you into a training, send you all the information that I sent to people at that time, and that's it. Then you'll click on the link and it will take you to payment, and then you will see the code. You'll enter the MED 100 and you're enrolled. It's pretty simple.
And then on here, there, okay, it just came up. I was looking for it, your email, and it just.
Okay, I can also type it in the chat if you want. On the website, when you go there, there's also email. You can reach me through training at, it will be forwarded to me. So even if you don't have this, you can, I'm pretty accessible.
Good, great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, well, thank you all for coming tonight. And have a wonderful evening.
Thank you. You as well.
I look forward to seeing you there. So let's just chant together our closing sloka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Jai Shri Satguru Maharaj Ki Jai. So enjoy your evening.
Thank you.
Please email me if you wish.